Hi, Poppy Yeager here with This Day in History. March 15th, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson addresses both houses of Congress calling for equal voting rights. This was 8 days after violence had erupted in Selma. Black protesters had gathered peacefully on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. As soon as they crossed the bridge, white police officers unleashed violence and beat the protesters, some of whom ended up in the hospital. Johnson, always wanting equal rights, always fighting for minorities, demanded that the House and Senate give equal voting rights. So maybe the violence would either end or at least not be as bad. Johnson reminded the American people of the 15th Amendment. The 15th Amendment had been passed during Reconstruction at the end of the Civil War. It guaranteed the right to vote. And it said it didn't matter what your race was or the color of your skin. You were guaranteed that right. However, the South, wanting to prevent Black people from getting to the polls and exercising this right, set up hurdles. There were literacy tests, grandfather clauses. They did whatever they could to only let white people vote. Johnson said in his speech, he says, we shall overcome. We're going to overcome the racism and bigotry of our nation. Johnson acknowledged we were a racist country and said, we're going to overcome. We're going to pass these voting rights. And sure enough, in August of the same year, he signed the Voting Rights Act, making it mandatory that everybody have equal access to the ballot. Yeah, down in the South, there were still the new law wasn't followed. There were still obstructions, but now at least there was a legal way forward. When people were denied that right, they could sue. Johnson made so many strides in an attempt to actually deliver the promise that was made when Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. When this country was founded, it was founded on this belief of freedom and independence. But unless you were a white man, you were denied a place at that table. The rest of us have had to fight our way through. We've had to fight to get any sort of independence and freedom. Johnson addressed the nation, addressed Congress, and said, we're going to overcome the racism of our past. Now we have a president who claims DEI is evil and wants to erase all references to anybody who's not a white man. That's not anti-DEI. That is straight up racism, homophobia, sexism. That's what Trump is doing. He is acknowledging that we live in a racist country and saying, yep, that's what we want. We want to go back. How far we have fallen from Johnson, who fought and delivered some equality, giving people what they deserved. Anyway, that's This Day in History, March 15th, 1965. Johnson addressed Congress and the nation saying, we need to pass voting rights. We need equality when it comes to voting.